If you're planning on using your VA loan in 2024, I have 8 tips that could be the difference between you losing thousands and you gaining thousands, all through how you make the following decisions. Before I jump into the video though, over 88% of you are not subscribed to the channel. So if you're getting value from this information that we're creating to help educate as many veterans as we possibly can around the VA home loan benefit, do me a huge favor, hit the like button down below and also subscribe to the channel. This lets the YouTube algorithm know that this information is valuable and will allow it to be shared to more veterans that need to know this information. The very first thing that you need to do if you are looking to purchase a home with your VA home loan benefit is going to be getting pre-approved with a VA knowledgeable lender. Not just any loan officer, not just any specialist, but a real VA knowledgeable lender. And the person that you want to connect with is someone you want to build a real relationship with, someone that knows the ins and outs around the VA home loan benefit and someone that doesn't just dabble in it. This sounds like something that's easier said than done, but you'd be surprised how many veterans make a major mistake by working with someone who does not actually know the ins and outs around the VA home loan benefit. And this actually ends up costing you more money than you may think in the long run, because they're probably going to make mistakes within the transaction that end up costing you, not them. Another reason why you want to get pre-approved is because there is a common myth around the pre-approval process that many veterans don't actually understand. You see, you probably have heard the term get pre-qualified, and you've probably also thought of the term pre-approval, and you think those are the same thing when really they're not. You see, a pre-approval is something that requires not only for you to submit an application, but for you to also submit the supporting documents that go along with that application. So what really is happening is the lender is reviewing that application, your credit, your income, your assets, your liabilities, and they are doing a full deep dive in order for them to identify exactly what you qualify for. This can take a couple of days to be done. In some cases, it can be done quicker, but the reason I say it's going to take a little bit longer to be done is because a pre-qualification is something that happens instantly. A pre-qualification though is only the lender reviewing your application and your credit report and then making a decision from that. The problem though is there is no guarantee that you are actually going to be pre-approved. You see, one of the biggest mistakes that happens in this process is someone will only get pre-qualified, go and spend days, weeks, if not months to find a property. And then when they go under contract, the lender now requests the documents that they could have reviewed if you would have done a pre-approval. And then they find out, oh, you know what? Because this information is maybe different or something didn't add up, you're actually no longer qualified for the home that you want. You'd be surprised how many times I have seen veterans come to us that were working with another lender who only did a pre-qualification in hopes that we can possibly save their deal for them to be able to buy the home that they had been dreaming about. This could have all been avoided had they simply gone through the pre-approval process up front. So do yourself a favor and make sure that you do not get pre-qualified, get pre-approved. The second one is going to be sticking to a budget. And the way that you find out your budget is really going to be by how you handle the first point I made. You see, when you get pre-approved, you have the ability to identify a budget that is set based on what your comfort zone is. You see, when you look at all of your monthly liabilities that you have going on in your situation, you want to make sure that you have a monthly payment goal that is set based on your comfort zone. Now, sure, you could be pre-approved for significantly more than what you're comfortable with, but you don't want to focus on the big number. You want to focus on the monthly payment goal that you have set for you and your household. What this is going to allow you to do is have a lot more peace of mind around the buying process because you know that you can confidently afford that monthly payment. Once you have that monthly payment set, as long as it's a realistic amount that can be achieved, you can then ask your lender how much house that monthly payment equates to. Then what you'll be able to do is start looking for homes within that budget and that price range only. You do not want to exceed this amount because then what you would be doing is overextending yourself, which a lot of people make the mistake of doing. You see, when you go through the pre-approval or pre-qualification process the wrong way, the lender's just going to tell you the maximum amount that you can qualify for. And that's not the right way of going about it. You want to make sure that you go based on what your comfort zone is. So that way you don't find yourself getting tied to purchasing a property that you don't even realize how much it's going to be costing you every single month. The third thing that you need to do is get connected with a VA knowledgeable real estate agent. You notice I just didn't say pick a real estate agent. I said work with a VA knowledgeable real estate agent. The reason for this is because the VA has specific guidelines and requirements that go along with using it that aren't just associated to the loan. It actually goes along with the property that you're purchasing, and they're called minimum property requirements. You want to make sure that you're connected with a real estate agent that has a good understanding of those requirements. So that way you don't spend your time running around looking at properties that don't meet the VA standards. And then you're just really wasting your time and possibly missing out on the opportunity that you really are looking for by finding or being in front of the right home. So connect with a VA knowledgeable realtor. If you don't have one and you want help getting connected with one, regardless of where you're at in the country, reach out to us. We're happy to connect you with somebody. We do this for veterans all over the country, and we are happy to make sure that you are in the right hands. Before I jump into our next few points, me and my team get called every single day from veterans just like you who are trying to navigate the VA loan process. So if you find yourself stuck or you just want to get help from a team of individuals who specialize in helping veterans go through the entire VA loan process, give us a call, shoot us a text. We're happy to help you navigate this process. The next thing that you want to do is prepare for the long term. Are you buying this property to live in it for 1 year? Are you buying it to live in it for 5 years? Is this a 10-year home or is this a forever home? But what you want to make sure you're doing is buying a property that fits your situation. You see, many homeowners only think about what they can gather right now, but they don't think about what their plans are for that home in the future. You see, when you're purchasing a property, if your goal is to own it for a short amount of time, you need to understand what the possibilities are for you to be able to either sell that home and be able to retain some equity or be able to rent that home out, regardless of what your plans are. But a major mistake many homeowners do end up making, unfortunately, is they strap themselves to a financial obligation that they weren't actually prepared to be attached to. So you want to have an idea of what your plans are for that home, whether it's to sell it in a short term, whether it's to keep it long term, whether it's to rent it out, whatever your plans are or intentions are, you want to know what those are going into it and then do an analysis of that plan with that particular property to make sure that it makes sense. The next thing that you need to consider is going to be the neighborhood and just the overall geographic location in which you are buying. You see, when you're purchasing a property, if schools are important to you, you want to start doing some research on schools in the area. You also want to get an idea of what's going on within the area with the crime rate, with the amenities or the shopping. All of those things play a part in your home buying experience, but also in your home ownership experience as well. So when you're buying a property, make sure that you consider other things that aren't just the home, but are what are surrounding the home, because those things can come back to haunt you later and can be some big mistakes that homeowners often make. The fifth thing that you need to do is make sure that you are getting a home inspection. A home inspection is often confused with an appraisal, and an appraisal is often confused with a home inspection. And here's the differences between the two. An appraisal is only going to determine value. The appraiser is going to go and take a look at the property, but what they're mainly going to do is do research on recent sales that are of similar homes in a geographic region around that property to determine what this property is worth. But what a home inspector is going to do is they're going to go through every nook and cranny of that home. They're going to check out the roof, the foundation, the walls, the windows. They're going to find things that are possibly going to be wrong with that home, even if it's a brand new home. Many home buyers that are purchasing a new construction home think they don't need a home inspection. And I'm here to tell you right now, I have seen legitimate horror stories of people buying a brand new property. So whether you are buying a brand new property or a home that's 100 years old, get a home inspection, because they're going to help you avoid having to possibly pay thousands upon thousands of dollars after you've already bought this property to fix something that you could have possibly caught while you are buying it. Our seventh thing that you want to make sure that you don't do is make sure that you're not using bad buying tactics when using your VA home loan benefit. You see, many first-time homebuyers, when they're purchasing a property, think that they're going to be able to buy their dream home. And unfortunately, that's just not likely going to be the case. You see, most first-time homebuyers are buying a starter home. So when you're buying a property, don't think so much about getting everything that you want out of a home. Think more about what this home can provide you and lead you towards. Another thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to day trade real estate. What do I mean by that? You see, many people think about the real estate market like they think about the stock market. These are two completely different things and they don't use the same metrics. So when you're buying real estate, don't think so much about what volatility looks like within the real estate market. What you want to think more about is the opportunity that real estate can bring you. Because at the end of the day, the stock market will never provide you shelter, but real estate will. The eighth thing that you want to make sure that you do is you want to make sure that you have a good understanding about the home size that you need. You see, many people over or underestimate the impact of this. Sometimes people buy too little of a home, and a lot of times people buy too much of a home. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't make this monthly payment or that you should downsize. My point is, if you have the ability to purchase a home that you can actually keep within your budget and it not be more home than you actually need, this is just less of a home that you have to worry about maintaining now, which means that it could lead you to being able to step up to the next home in a quicker fashion versus being stuck in that first home because you maybe overextended yourself a little bit. So there you have it, my 8 key things that you need to consider when purchasing a house with your VA home loan benefit. If you got value from this video, don't forget to make sure to hit the like button down below and also consider subscribing to the channel and joining our community. The last thing I want to leave you with is I want you to know that Jesus loves you and Jesus paid a price for your life. And one thing that I must share is that I'm a person that actually is recovering from having struggled with anxiety and stress and fear. And I know that God paid a price for my life and has set me free. And one of the scriptures that I constantly recite to myself throughout the day is Philippians chapter 4, verses 6-7, which reads, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything through prayer and petition and with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." This gives me so much peace because in the very first part of that verse, it says, "Do not be anxious about anything." And it really just allows me to know that God is with me and God is walking through everything with me and he's pulling me out of it. And this is an opportunity for me to learn and an opportunity for me to be better every single day for him, for my family, and for my community. I appreciate you guys so much for watching this video all the way through. And if you want to get more tips around the VA home loan benefit, check out this playlist right here.